And hello, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Carol Jenkins. The program is Black America, and today we're talking about Alzheimer's disease. Black Americans are twice, perhaps even 3 times, as likely as the general population to be diagnosed with Alzheimer's and to be financially and emotionally devastated by it. With us to discuss its impact on Black America is Dan Gasby, and in a bit, B. Smith, his wife, who was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's, will join us. B. Smith, for those who need to be reminded, is the beautiful, brilliant model, restaurant owner, media mogul. Dan, for 23 years, has been her business partner, husband, and now caretaker. They've written a wonderful book about their lives, Before I Forget, Love, Hope, Help, and Acceptance in Our Fight Against Alzheimer's. And thank you so much, Dan.
Carol, my pleasure.
For being here today. How are you guys doing?
You know, we take it one day at a time. The thing about Alzheimer's is it's something that is every moment matters, because what seemingly is inconsequential can be devastating, and what seemingly unbelievably important becomes inconsequential. So we've learned over the course of the last couple of years to just appreciate the moment. You know, the big thing is most people talk about good and bad days, and that's totally inaccurate. What you have are good and more important moments to appreciate and more difficult moments to deal with.
As you know, and we've talked about this, my mother had Alzheimer's and died from it, and it was a 13-year journey for us and our family. And the way I like to put it is that when anyone in the family has Alzheimer's, everybody has it, and everybody's lives stop and become something else. So I understand, but that was a mother, a parent. It's different if it's your wife, if it's your partner.
Yes, it is. Well, first of all, you're in the club, and the easiest way to describe that is you could be from North Korea, have an interpreter here, and you could be talking to that person, and if the subject of things that are difficult in your life come up and you say Alzheimer's, if the interpreter tells that person what you just said, and they look at you, they can talk to you through your eyes by saying, I know your pain, I know your frustration, I know your sense of heaviness, that every day when people don't understand, everything's changed. And anyone who's involved with it knows it.
It's a language language all to its own of understanding.
And time becomes elastic.
Right.
That's the big thing. You're not the way a child cries when they wake up and it's time to be fed or time to be changed, or no matter how you feel, they're in themselves, in and of it. That's the way it is with Alzheimer's. That person is not meaningfully self-centered. That's how they have to operate.
And you call this the civil rights movement of our time, to get more people aware of Alzheimer's and to try to find research and to, to do something, because it's probably one of the few diseases where there is no option at the end. It's only death.
It's death. It's a 21st century civil rights issue. 2 out of 3 people with Alzheimer's are women. Women have a 1 in 11 chance of having it. Men 1 in 16. Blacks and Latinos are 2 to 3 times more likely to have it. As you so well know, the cost of care can devastate a family, could keep kids or grandkids from going to college, keep people from realizing their dreams. But it's also a civil rights issue because, if you get lucky, you live to be older.
Right.
And when you think about the fact that basically 1 out of 3 people at the age of 85 are going to have it. But if you're black, it's a coin flip. 1 in 2 people will have it. It is an existential threat to the African American community.
Astonishing.
Because we have less resources.
Right.
We over-index basically in everything that's not necessarily to our benefits, and we under-index in everything that's supposedly the better parts of the American experience.
Right, and this caretaking piece of it. I think I'm looking at some of the statistics that the average family loses like $300,000 just having to quit their jobs to take care and having to pay for services.
Absolutely.
So it's a financial hit, it's an emotional hit, and I think that's...
And it's a social stigma historically in the black community because we don't like to deal with the tough things that may not make us look like we can do it all. And so what you have then is you have a disillusionment in terms of wanting to deal with the real problem and trying to cover it up, sweep it under the rug, or mask it. And that's one of our biggest challenges, and that's one of our biggest problems that we must overcome immediately.
Immediately. Now, when you started writing the book, B was in the early stages,
Right.
mild.
Pre-65, early onset.
Early onset, but she was also mild. She was still able to operate a bit on her own. When you finish the book, and that's something, reading this whole arc of the diagnosis and all, when you get to the end of the book, B needs constant care.
She needs care. She can't be really by herself. As a person who is married to someone with it, it's another level. I mean, I tell people very honestly, it's like being in a menage a trois with Freddy Krueger and sometimes an angel, because it's difficult. Because you know what Alzheimer's is? Alzheimer's is a form of, I call it domestic terrorism.
Domestic
Yes,
terrorism.
and the way you deal with terrorists is that you can't negotiate with it. You can only mitigate the situation or eliminate it. And by that I mean to end the disease. But with people who have Alzheimer's, because the hippocampus has been impacted, they can't make the right decisions. But you can't convince them.
Right.
And time and again, I hear people saying, I'm trying to make her understand, I'm trying to make him.
It's impossible.
It's impossible.
I know. I mean, so most people don't understand what it is. And even in the hospitals, I experienced with my mother, when I would say to hospital staff, she doesn't understand what you're saying, she can't follow any orders, I need to be here with her. They would still, the hospital staff didn't get what I was saying.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a huge, huge problem for everybody, because we don't want to really acknowledge, first of all, that this person that we love is vanishing before our very eyes.
They're becoming a hologram.
A hologram.
To see the light every so often flicker off is probably the toughest thing. To see the person who could connect immediately with basically anything now has the difficulty of connecting with anything. See the caregiver suffers even more than the person who's experiencing the actual disease, because they see in bold relief what's going on, and they understand that the person 5 minutes later is on to something else, but they have to deal with the aftermath of what they just experienced.
Exactly.
You know?
And in our case, that was 13 years. And then when she was finally diagnosed, we went back and saw that things had been happening before. And that was your case. You and B started having arguments when in your relationship you'd never fought, and you didn't know where this was coming from.
Carol, in 1 year, I went through a hip replacement, prostate cancer, and 2 back surgeries. That's all gone on through the period of 2008-9, where the economy was going south. So, and we had several businesses and restaurants dealing with all of the other things that were happening along the East Coast with weather and everything. It was a virtual hurricane wrapped in a tsunami going down a well. And when you go through all of those operations and your spouse is not responsive to you, you say, well, WTF?
Yeah.
And then you also say to yourself, well, maybe she doesn't love me, or maybe she doesn't
You thought
care.
she was having an affair.
Well, I thought she was. I thought she was not into me.
Right.
And we both haven't been in marriages before. The one thing I've learned in life is I could do bad by myself.
Right.
And so I was distraught. But now looking back, part of the reason I thought it was important to have that in the book, how many couples have broken up not knowing that what they thought was psychological or self-centeredness was neurological and biological, that they had no choice but to act that way because things beyond their control was actually impacting them.
Right. And we all read about the experience when Bee disappeared.
Oh, yeah.
And my mother did that as well. Probably the longest I only had to go through it for 3 hours, and you guys were 17 hours. Because what happens is that things that they didn't do 5 minutes before, they now do. And that when you enter that wandering stage, I always say it probably shaved off a decade of my life.
Oh, yeah.
Because you just have no idea where they are and what could happen to them, and they're vulnerable. We found my mother on a bus. She could have gotten off at any point.
Absolutely.
And the same thing with
17 hours.
17 hours. Who was scheduled to ride from the Hamptons
right.
to...
Well, actually, scheduled to go from Manhattan
right.
back out to the Hamptons, and we didn't know. My daughter put her on the stop before the first stop. And so she got off
in Manhattan.
Right. One stop, she got off the next stop and
right.
then took off. And then for 17 hours, walked from the tip of Manhattan to Harlem, back through Manhattan over to Staten Island on a ferry back, and then walked back up to Manhattan. All while she was wearing red high heels, stilettos, and a windbreaker.
And a windbreaker.
2 days before Thanksgiving with sleet.
And so you think that the mileage that she did she was found thankfully by a friend who
right.
saw her in a restaurant near your old house in Manhattan that you had sold. I want to go to a tape. You decided to go public with this a year ago, right? About a year and a half?
A little more.
Yeah, a little more than a year. And you were interviewed by Dr. LePook, a trusted friend at CBS. Let's take a look at that clip, an intro, and then when we come out, we'll have Bee join us for the conversation.
More than 5 million Americans have Alzheimer's disease. There's no cure, and many patients suffer in silence. Now, a public figure has revealed to us that she is one of them. Bee Smith, the restaurant owner, designer, and decorator. She's 64, and she talked to Dr. John LePook for the CBS News broadcast Sunday morning.
What is the name of the disease you have?
Alzheimer's.
And what did it mean to you?
It meant something bad, really bad.
Barbara Smith was one of the first African-American models on the cover of Mademoiselle. In 1986, she opened her first Bee Smith restaurant in New York City, and 2 more followed. She hosted a TV program, wrote books, and was called the Black Martha Stewart.
You do try to hide it from everybody.
Around 4 years ago, Bee told her doctor about her symptoms before she told her husband and business partner of 22 years, Dan Gasby. Those problems, such as repeating things or not answering a question, became very serious.
Do you know the date today? Do you know the month? How about the year? And what does that feel like?
Things like that make me very sad.
And now we're joined by Bee Smith, the fabulous, stylish, wonderful Bee Smith. Thank you so much for being with us today.
I have had a really great day already.
Oh,
the green room, honey?
the green room is hopping today. Everybody wanted to see you. So thank you for being here. There's so many good times for so many people in this city and Washington and out in Sag Harbor as well, are due to you two for having created wonderful restaurants, wonderful products. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much.
Well,
she deserves all the credit.
I'm happy that we're here together having this.
Well,
this time to just let us
talk about what we're doing.
To talk, and what you're doing is so, so important. The effort to get, for one thing, we need more Black people to go into research programs so that we can figure out a problem.
Yes.
Figure out a solution to this problem.
Well, the problem has always been the 800-pound gorilla, the cloud has been Tuskegee. And the mere fact that, African Americans were used as guinea pigs for a horrible disease that has now been memorialized and passed on for generation to generation. And we have to overcome that because it was
That's-
wrong.
Yeah, that's the Tuskegee experiment where
Yes.
they had they used black people as guinea pigs
For syphilis.
For syphilis, didn't tell them that they had it, and when a cure came along, they didn't give them the cure. And this has set up a barrier, even if they don't know about it personally. They know that it's not a good thing, or they feel that it's not a good thing to be a part of research.
Well, they think also, when you talk about Black Lives Matter and you talk about the disparity of not only wealth, but value of the human being, many black people that I've talked to basically have the attitude that when it comes to organ donation or whatever, that if a black person is on a gurney and a white person is on a gurney and they both have the same basically organs that are needed for transplant, there's in the head of the African American community that the black person is going to get harvested and go out one door, and the white person is going to walk out the other door. And so that has created in our modern day medical system a disparity in terms of people wanting to participate in drug trials and in research. And the reality is we're doing ourselves more harm by doing that,
Right.
because what works for a 70-year-old white male may not work for a 55-year-old black female, because drugs have different impacts on different people by virtue of their genetics.
Right.
And so,
So
that's
right.
and that's the scary.
Yeah, well, the whole research world has been, women were excluded from most studies, and people of color, and et cetera. So all of that has to be changed. But you are very, very active in this effort to get more people to acknowledge. Dr. Charles Ogletree, a Harvard law professor who taught both Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, our president and first lady at Harvard Law School, has announced that he has Alzheimer's. He's 63. You think that it's important for people to make it known and to work as hard as they can?
I think it's important. I mean, the young people who are coming behind us, or who will be coming behind us, would be out of it if we don't try to make sure that that we help them to start all over if they have to. I think that there's a lot to do and a lot to go if people can get the. Well, I'm going to take one thing off.
Sure.
Sometimes I always used to think, of when I went to school, they were, of course, white and African Americans in that area that we were in, and it was good. We worked well together, and it was as we rolled over, going
Right.
to the next steps.
Right, exactly. Well, you broke so many barriers. You were the first in so many fields. So we are so proud of you.
And the thing that Sweetie was alluding to was the fact that if we don't find cures and if we don't have drugs that can make a difference, the people who are now leaving college and going to work, particularly African Americans, because more people who are not are participating in these drug trials, 2036, 2046, they're going to be faced with the same thing that
Right.
I'm dealing with now in 2016.
Right.
And that's why it's important to be involved with drug research, be involved with trials, but to destigmatize
Destigmatize
the
knowledge of it.
Right.
While we talk, maybe Audra can put up some of the symptoms. There are 10 major symptoms. In the early stages, there's always this thing about I forgot my keys, or
Yes.
is that what?
Well, as people age, and I'm not a doctor, I'm a layman, but I've read and been involved, memory naturally declines. The ability to memorize and remember things naturally declines. And that's just a natural part. But there are more specific things like repetitiveness of, missing things. Those types of things sort of, create the environment of what's going on, not knowing places, times, dates, those types of things that are normally accepted, understood, are some of the things, not remembering your own telephone number. There are a whole host of things that you can go through that basically says, well, maybe this is more than just, the natural aging process.
Right. So, right now, what are you planning to do? I read in the book that you thought you might like to sing. Dan says you have a fabulous voice, by the way. It's the one area that you haven't gone into yet. What are the things that you like to do on a day-to-day basis, and what would you like to do?
What I've been doing is basically as a little housewife. Now,
Yes.
nothing against being a housewife.
Yes.
It actually is. I've turned things in the different directions.
Right,
And they
right.
come back, and the kids, particularly as they're getting older, they're telling me, B, and they all call me B,
B.
and all these little,
Right,
little,
right,
little
right.
things. And
I suppose after you've run a multi-million-dollar corporation, being a housewife would take a little getting used to. Are you able to find pleasure every day?
absolutely.
You guys are still cooking together? That was the thing you love to do?
We cook together. We walk. We read to each other. We work on that. Let's be honest. Things have changed, and you have to understand that life changes, and you have to be able to adapt to those changes. But I always tell young people, you got to like who you love, as opposed to love what you like, so that when the times are not pristine or ideal, you have that to fall back on.
All right. Well, we're Facebook friends, and I see some of the postings
Yeah.
that you do when things are getting really tough.
Yes.
Really tough. And I think that's what you want people to understand too, that it's not a walk in the park.
Carol, I think the most important thing is I want people to hate Alzheimer's, not fear it. You see, when you fear something, you run away from it. When you hate it and you know it's an imminent threat, you fight it, you focus. You try to make a difference. You get the word out. And before Sweetie had Alzheimer's, or as we were going through this journey in the beginning, she said to me, I don't want to hide. And I want people to understand what we're dealing with. From being a candy striper to everything she's done, as you know, involved with the feminist press. She's always
Sure.
worked
When
with,
I was on the board, we used to have parties, you guys, and the generosity, I must say, and you're philanthropists of the first order, and we thank you so much for that. There are many organizations who wouldn't have been able to have fundraisers if you hadn't been so generous.
You know what? That I wish I could take claim. That's her nature.
Right.
That's her essence. And
Dan,
that's
I want to play, because this fear, to fight it, not fear. Like, we have a clip. You two were receiving an award.
Right.
And let's take a look at at that and come back out on the other
good.
side.
Don't fear Alzheimer's, hate it. The same way you hate terrorism or you hate injustice, because if you hate it, you fight it.
And we're still fighters, and we are going to be fighters.
And you certainly are. You are doing such an amazing, amazing job. What are your next steps in terms of what do you want people watching this show to get up and go do immediately?
I want them to understand that the amount of money that will be spent on Zika and Ebola, which a couple of hundred people, and certainly are important diseases to manage and to get rid of, the amount they spent in the last 2 years is worth about 10 years of what the amount of money that was spent for a disease. Every 66 seconds, someone's being diagnosed in America But what people don't understand about that is what is 66 seconds in a week? That's 10,000 people. Every week in America are being diagnosed. If they had 10,000 Zika viruses or Ebola outbreaks, there would be hundreds of billions of dollars.
Sure.
But this is the single most costly disease in America today because of the length of time that people go through it, because of the amount of money it impacts people of moderate means. I want them to be ambassadors. I want my people to get off the couch about praying about it and doing something about it, because it is going to affect you. Someone in your family is going to have it. We over-index in this. I want them to understand that the only way to make a difference is the same way people did with the civil rights movements. You got to march. Local, state, federal legislators,
Yeah.
You've got to talk to them. You've got to make them understand that what's happening in our community is just a reflection, a larger reflection of what's happening in the general population, and that this is not a disease that can't be overcome. What is underfunded. It's $250 billion every year in the cost of Alzheimer's in America, and it's going to be $1 trillion over the next 20 years. It could swamp our medical system and our Medicaid and Medicare system. So we need to get on top of it now.
Thank you both so much for being here today.
And we really love you being here with us today.
Thank you, Bea. You're
Yes.
wonderful. Thank you so much. That means so much to me. The book is Before I Forget, Love, Hope, Help, and Acceptance in Our Fight Against Alzheimer's. And for those out there seeking help, you can visit the Alzheimer's Association at alz.org or call their 24-hour helpline at 1-800-272-3900, 1-800-272-3900. And thank you all for being with us today. A very meaningful conversation with two incredibly special people. The show is Black America. I'm Carol Jenkins, and we will see you the next time.